Hey guys, today I'm talking to global esports new IGL Russ. In this episode, we're going to have some absolute banger advice from Russ. We start off by talking about his history and then moving into the real nitty gritty of how to be a successful esports player, the work ethic, the sacrifices you have to make, and then things that really matter to you in game, like how to support your team, how to communicate, what to do when you're dead. Things like this that will really make a difference to how well you're performing in game. So much advice from Russ in this one. Knowledge bombs everywhere. I hope you enjoy.
What? What's going on? Hey, break this all, bro! Ace. Ace. Let's go, team. Hey, Sage is here. How is he waxing? 1CT.
3.
And again.
And
again.
Oh!
You have dog?
Enemy remaining.
That's 3.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Let's go.
GE fight!
Yeah. I mean, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know, there really is nothing to worry about. It's not like anyone's going to see it anyway. It's much easier to think like that. But then who knows?
I think people will see it. The G fans are kind of crazy right now. So
They are.
will know
Tell me about it. I mean, like, how's the announcement been? I've seen your Twitter has really been popping.
yeah. Well, obviously at the start, it's like there was a lot of like shock, I guess, because people expected like EA or someone like a superstar to be joining, but and then obviously as soon as like all like the hate like cleared up for a bit, a lot of the fans and stuff like they started sending me so many like nice messages and stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like it all cleared up and like a lot of the fans just love me now, and they just want to see me do well and prove everyone wrong. So that's kind of what it is right now.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, it was a lot of hype, right? Like, they really built up this announcement. Like you're saying, we're expecting someone with 250,000 followers. Oh look, it's Yay coming out. Oh my god, it's Tens. Tens is going to global esports, and everyone would lose their shit.
That's literally what it was. And the thing is, I expected all this. Like me and my agent, like I expected literally all of this. Like as soon as I got signed, I was ready for all of this. So honestly, none of it like affected me mentally, or anything like that. So I'm totally fine.
Yeah, and I think, well, I guess the thing is obviously because like across scenes, it's a little bit difficult to kind of know like who people are. So maybe it would be helpful if you can kind of introduce yourself and talk a little about like, your history, where you've come from, the teams that you've played on in the past.
Yeah. So you want me to start from like Counter-Strike or?
Go on then. Yeah, I didn't. I mean,
Oh.
I don't know anything about your CS history, so yeah, tell me.
Yes. So in Counter-Strike, I used to play on like some like UK teams, the top UK teams, I guess you can say. Some names like Endpoint and Vex, they were like literally at the top of the UK scene. I competed for a while there, and yeah, I won like some small things. I won my first like what do you call it? like UK the ESL UK LAN. So that was my like first ever trophy.
Yeah.
But pretty much I started actually wanting to go pro in like 2018. That's when I actually put the foot. New Year's resolution kind of thing. Stop first day of the year. Literally grind, and people thought I was going crazy because of the amount of games I was playing. And honestly, I
Yeah.
think that's where it all like kicked off. Like I was doing more than a lot of people. Like you can literally sit like there's literally a thing where I played like 280 games or something, face it games in like 1 month or something like that, or just like a month and a half or something like that. So yeah, and it was just like people.
So you're playing like 10 games a day?
Pretty much, yeah. And
That's
people, like,
insane.
yeah, and like people were like going crazy about it. Like this guy's a geek. This guy has no life, no job, whatever, blah blah. I'm getting all this hate just because they couldn't do it, or whatever kind of thing. I stuck to it. I was going crazy, like honestly, and like from that, it kind of like put me into like a place where I made connections in like the hub and stuff, and I started playing with like other UK players and stuff, and that's kind of where everything started, and that was like the key part where from one team I got into another team, from that team I got into another team, and it's like I was kind of like owning a lot of like the top UK pros, I guess you can say. You know what I mean? And it
Mm.
kind of put me on the radar, kind of thing. So that's the kind of way it all started. And then moving on to Valorant. Actually, it's kind of crazy, you know, like towards the end of like CS, like Valorant came out. But I didn't like play it, like straight away, you know, like I took some time getting to it and stuff. Whereas like you know Link and stuff, they made like Fish 1 2 3. I was actually teaming with Link in Counter Strike,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they made the swap pretty much like one like mid tournament kind of thing. So it was like we were about to qualify with like MDL, which is like the tier 2 kind of thing, just before Pro League in Counter
Yeah.
Strike.
Yeah.
So that's like the stage we were at, and then there was like a break during like Counter Strike. There was a break where I literally played Valorant for like a whole week, and I kind of like enjoyed it, you know. And that's kind of how I got into Valorant. And just like maybe a few weeks later after that, I guess you can say, I got approached by some of the UK players I played with, like I played on Counter Strike, and
Yeah.
they were about to sign to an organization, and they needed a player, so they asked me, and that's how I got into like Ricks. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
so that's where I kind of all started, and then obviously from um, Ricks we played for like 3 4 months together, and then yeah, there was just this period where I don't know, there was just you know kind of like nothing. Like I was playing with me, Brody, and Cray decided to make like a team, you know, and
Yeah.
we kind of just like got 2 players on and off, and we just playing, and yeah, like you know, and like at the end of that, like bro, we grind for so long. We grind for so long, you know. We were trying to find organizations and stuff, going through different
Mm.
players, playing all these
Mm.
qualifiers, open qualifiers in VCT and stuff. But we couldn't get like past like the early stage kind of thing, you know. We were just getting like kind of owned, but sometimes we were actually like making like a short run, I guess you can say, and then we'd lose to someone like Team Vitality or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so it'd just be something like that, and then finally we got signed to 10 star. So um,
Mm. Mm.
that bit was actually crazy. Just before we got signed, we were in talks with them, and we we didn't have a duelist player at the time. So and because Masashi, we were actually playing with Masashi in the qualifier. I mean, in like a cup, and we won the cup, and we wanted to get him, but he got another offer from somewhere else. So it was like hard to get him. So we ended up getting Polvi. So Polvi was like
Yeah.
the gem, you know, no one actually knew about. The reason we got Polvi was because of Spin. So the thing is, at the time, I knew about Spin because I watched his like
Ah.
YouTube videos. You understand? So because
Yes.
I watched his
Yeah.
YouTube videos, I was like, oh, this guy might be like good, you know. He understands the game and stuff. So I was like to the guys, like guys, we need a coach, and I think this guy is the guy to get, kind of thing, you know.
Mm. Mm.
So we decided to go with Spin, and then from that we got Polvi, and I think we were trying like Alive and stuff at the time, you know. So
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
trial a lot, like these players that are like upcoming kind of thing. So we ended up with Polvi, and from that like the whole 10 star thing happened where we had like some crazy runs, you know, getting some through like VCT main stages and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy. And then from that, 6 months, 7 months in the 10 star organization, you know, Red Bull Homegrounds was like our last tournament.
Yeah.
We placed like fourth, and you know had like an outstanding performance, and you know
Mm.
the eyes were on me, very much, and that's when I got signed to Guild after that, you know, during that time. But actually, the crazy thing about the Guild thing, believe it or not, okay, so I was in talks with like some like big organizations at the time, okay,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing was like Guild was like my number one in a way because of like just the players and just everything, okay. And the thing was like my sister's wedding was like during that time where like the transfers and stuff was happening,
Yes.
and Guild couldn't wait for me pretty much, okay.
Oh
Guild had
God.
like a deadline kind of thing, okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was because of that deadline, okay, they couldn't wait for me. So I was like, you know, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try with like these other 2 orgs that are like they were really big orgs at the time, and I didn't like it as much. So what happened was um, like just like 2 days before I was about to travel to India to my for my sister's wedding, Gil messaged me saying, we're gonna wait for you. So obviously that was like a big
Oh
deal, right? Like,
wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So that was like a what 1.5 2 weeks kind of wait for me. So they
Hmm.
waited for me for this like these 2 weeks. I came back, and they were like, okay, we'll give you like 3-4 days to like get used to the game again. So I haven't played the game for like 2 weeks now. So I got back and we started playing, and bro, it was like the most like insane shit ever. Like, oh, can I cuss as well?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay. Yeah, so it was like the
Yeah,
most
fucking hell.
yeah, so it was like the most like insane shit ever. So I was just like I was playing like Sage, Sky and stuff,
Yeah,
and I was just
yeah.
destroying everyone. Like honestly, like and like I was playing like trials against like Liquid, FPX, like that's like Navi right
The
now.
teams of the top at that
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
They really were the best teams in the world then.
Yes. So yeah, so I was playing against all these like teams, and bro, I was like literally like winning like 1v4 clutches and stuff like that, like I was like destroying everyone, like like just think about it. I come from like a 2 week like thing. I haven't even
Yeah,
touched the PC or anything, like,
yeah,
and I come back and and the trials are going so well, like it was like insane. I was like, this is the team I want to play in,
yeah.
and so that period went on for like 2 weeks, I guess you can say. Like we tried for like 2 weeks, um, and yeah, like we gel so well, and the thing is, like what they told me at the end was like they tried like 12 or 15 players or something
Mm-hmm.
for my spot. So I was like, bro, imagine like these all these people that trial for this spot, and I'm the one who
Yeah,
got it in the end.
yeah.
So and it was just crazy, and it was kind of the same, when I joined them, they were like everyone was surprised, why me kind of thing. It's like I always
Mm.
get like this kind of like like surprise kind of factor, like sorry, like surprise factor when I'm kind of like joining these teams or organizations. Like, I think could have got someone better or something, big names, whatever. But so many big names trial for my spot, so it's like crazy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
so obviously after that, after guild, obviously there was like a long like period where it's like 3-4 months maybe. It's like the off season, just before like partnership got announced kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So actually during that time, like I was in talks with like organizations, like even like VCT, like um I can probably say this now, but I was in talks with like global as well, like at that time. So
At
last
that
year,
time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was talking with like tier two organizations, like the top tier two organizations and stuff like that. I was still like good, like in terms of like getting to play next year and stuff. And what happened was I went away in December, so I went to see my girlfriend to take like a break, pretty much, okay. And obviously with this whole thing, like you know what happened was I was also playing with like Brody, with the LPB guys pretty much without Vong, but
Yeah.
Brody was the one leading the team. And during that time, it's like bro, we're doing pretty good, like. And at the time, like the VC offers kind of like died down in a way, but I still had like tier two offers. And I was playing with like Brody and stuff, and I came back and I got told, like Brody won't be playing. He's joining Ascend. Obviously now he's in Ascend,
Yeah.
and so someone needs to IGL. And the thing was like we didn't think there was anyone, you know, good that would
That
IGL
could
and
do it
stay
for
actually,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
so would stay on the team. And what happened was, so I was like, guys, like, I'll do it, like, screw it, I'll do it. And like I've kind of like done it in the past, like not like fully IGL. I've done it like where second IGL, I can be a leader, I know how to be a leader. So, and I talk a lot, so all these things like just played a part in that. And I was like, well, we need a fifth now. So I was like, I know Vong, I was like, bro, like let's try this, even though this, it's not like it's not all you see on like the stats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I know this guy. This guy's good.
Mm.
This guy can
Mm.
frag out. This is the player we need. So I was like, so they all trusted me in this, and I was like, I messaged Vong, and he just came back from Vietnam at the time. And I was like, yo, bro, let's play this thing. And we ended up playing like the qualified to qualify for Polaris at the time. And from that, it was like, bro, it's the whole qualifier was crazy because we didn't practice at all. Like maybe we played like one day together or something, but the whole like qualifier was the practice for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end, like we played against like Equals, Polvi, Luck, and Numla, like, and they were like the favorites to win the whole qualifier. So we played these guys and we ended up beating them after they beat us like twice in like the past or whatever. So it's just like the whole like cycle kind of thing, and we kind of like just owned it, and we just like, yeah, we qualified. And then and at the time I was still getting like asked, to I had like an offer in India, offer in like EU as well again. Like I still had like the opportunities, but we were also in talks with like other organizations,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so so all these things, like, bro, I don't know what decision to make. It was very hard, at the time. And I was like, I love playing with these guys. These guys, we have really good chemistry because I played with them in the past in other games and stuff like that. We're all like really close friends. So it's like everyone trusts each other, and that's something it's hard to get in like teams
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's like we have everything, and now all we need is like an organization. So it took some time, like we had offers and stuff. We were saying no to certain things, blah blah blah. There's so many like things like in that whole like pool kind of thing. So it's just a
Yeah.
whole mess. I don't know if I should leave the team and join this team to like because they'll pay me more or whatever. What I mean? There's so many decisions I have to make. But at the end, like I started, like I trust these boys. We're gonna get an organization, blah blah blah. But in the end, it didn't. It didn't. Obviously, we did well. Like I'm proud of like how we did. Without an organization and stuff. But some things are just meant to be, right? Like I feel like the reason I ended up now in G is because of this experience I had, with LPB. So
Yeah.
I ended up being a leader, and it's like all these things were meant to be, for me. So like, for me, it's like, I believe in God. So like, so it's like for me, it's like it's God's plan kind of thing. So that's how this whole thing played a part. So yeah, that's that. And one thing that's crazy as well, like last year when I was talking to, Rishi, the CEO of Global Esports, okay,
Yeah.
he was telling me, like, he was hinting to me, like, you should try to lead a team, there might be an opportunity like India, so, and like, I was like, I didn't really think of it that much, but somehow, like, I ended up in this position, playing for like 7 months IGL, and doing well to a certain degree. I think we did really well. We were like, we were playing incredible in scrims, incredible in officials. We did our part, kind of thing. We lost to like the organizations, I guess. Like Focus, even though we beat them many times, and
Yes.
Apex, obviously. Like, so it's
Yeah.
like we did our best.
Yeah, I felt like Polaris was really stacked at the top, right? I think like there were 3 teams in Polaris. Not to badmouth the other teams, but I think that was kind of from my perspective, there wasn't really much out. There was a lot of competition at the top between you 3 teams.
Yeah, so to talk about that, actually, the first split was very stacked. It was probably more stacked than all the other leagues, So even like you had Bonk and like even the Swedes, HSD, like all these guys are like insane, like
Yeah.
they've all played on these like really good teams, like in the past, like Excel, Cova, all these things, like, so everyone is good. Like the 5-6 teams in Polaris were so good in Split 1. Obviously in Split 2, it just happened to be just us top 3 kind of thing. So people are kind of like underestimate that, like people who didn't watch it would be like, oh my god, there's only 3 teams in Polaris, whatever.
Yeah.
That's in
Yeah.
Split 2.
Yeah.
But Split 1 was so stacked, and we did so well. Like it was like we had an insane run. We even beat Apex. It's like we were one of the 2 teams that actually beat Apex the whole year. So it's like, yeah.
There's a lot to pick apart about what you said. Actually, I think that's really interesting. I think the first thing that really interests me is how much do you think your network and the friends that you had kind of played a part in the path that you've gone down?
Yeah, I think it was pretty big. Like all the connections I had from even like CS. Like all the connections back then, like played a part because I stayed friends with these guys for like a long time. Like I've known them from CS, like playing in the same teams, and even like after that, like where we all ended up being LFT, we all trusted the project. You know what I mean? Like it's like they could have gone to all these other teams, but we all decided to stay on one team, and I feel like that trust is something you can't get anywhere else, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it played a big part.
I think it's one of those things as well where like, in a lot of the interviews I've talked about, a lot of people talk about. I mean, the way you've described it as kind of God's plan, I understand what you're saying. I think fortune, right? The path that the universe has for you, right? Whether it's God, whether it isn't, is another discussion. But I understand exactly what you mean, right? It's just like you were in the right place at the right time, and because of the things that have happened in the past, the path that you've taken. And I think It definitely makes a difference if you know the right people, right? And having just been kind to people, right, and made friends with people can make all of that difference, right? Because they invite you back to play with them, and
Exactly. Yeah.
and then you can kind of, you're on a roll then with them,
Yeah.
and I think
I
you
agree.
grow with them as a team. You said you had offers after Guild. Were they not up to the standard that you wanted to play at? Why didn't you take any of these offers after Guild? I understand you had the friendship with the guys in LPB, right? But
Yeah.
did
So
could you afford not to take the salaries, right? I guess those are the kind of questions that I'm interested in.
yeah, in a way, of course, like the salaries were all that big, but it was also like the team, the project. I didn't have like the trust in it. I didn't believe in the project, kind of thing. So it's like for me, when it comes to like playing with players and stuff, I need to have the right chemistry and stuff. Even if I'm playing Charles with them and stuff, and I don't feel something with them, I'm not gonna like it. I know it's not gonna work out with them. I just know. I know. I have a really good like not feeling. I know how to read people. I know. I'm a really good judge of personality, kind of thing. I know who's gonna work hard and stuff like that. I wanna. It's like the right goals. Like I want the
Yeah.
right things, and if I don't believe in that, I'm out. I don't want to waste my time, kind of thing. Even if it's something like that might affect me in the future, or whatever. It's not worth the time. It's not worth all the stress and stuff that you put in. Like think about it. Like LPP, bro, we spent 7 months together without like being paid or anything. You know what I mean? Like think about how much trust and like stuff we had. Like it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely relate to that because I think there really isn't anything like being in a team, a high performance team, right? Where it's so much, the connection is so much deeper than anything else you do, right? There isn't other than, I think, in because I've had that connection with people in kind of conventional sports as well. But I think in these kind of competitive environments, there is just another level of kind of synergy in a way, like the way that you think, right, has to be so aligned that I don't think anything else can kind of give you that feeling.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I 100% agree on it. Because thing else, I'll say this for real. Like when I trust in a project, I trust everyone in the team. Everyone trusts me and stuff. With like the cause and everything. That's when you play your best.
Yeah.
And that's literally what it was with these guys. Like I feel like I can play like amazing like with them because of that.
Yeah, I mean, building on trust, I think, is everything, right? Like, I think teams just fall apart without that. So I
Yeah.
guess you kind of talked about your intuition for people. I guess what kind of things would you look for when you were kind of building those projects? How would you decide, right, whether it was worth it or not? Are there kind of any like big? There's no way I would want to work with that person, or yes, that is the kind of person that I would want to work with.
Yeah, like especially in trials and stuff. Like even like now, okay, like when I was trialing with all these teams and stuff, it's like
Mm.
you can feel it. You can literally tell like the way people are treating like the trial, whatever. You know what I mean? Like people who are already on the team, like how they're treating this trial. If they're gonna treat this trial like the way they're doing it, like right now, like bro, like if I'm gonna be on the team, they're gonna do the same shit. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like so what's the point? Like if you're giving me like a first bad like a what do you call it?
a
First
bad
bad
impression.
bad
Yeah,
impression, yeah, exactly. So like when you're giving me a bad impression, you're not giving it all in this trial while I'm here, you're wasting my time. It's like I already know how you're gonna be like in the team, like even though you might think, oh, this guy can change him or whatever, like make him more motivated or whatever. But it doesn't work like that. You need to give your all, like 100%, like all the time. If you're not doing that, it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Uh, It's it's interesting, right? Because I think it gives you. I like that you're judging people on that first impression, right? If they aren't going to come in with that respect and the work ethic that you want to see in the long run, then
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know the team's not going to succeed because it's so reliant on that, right? The individuals putting in the work and the respect and the trust that you have to build.
Exactly. So like yeah, like bro, I'll even say like straight up like a lot of these like tier 2 teams and stuff, like some of the people I was, bro, people are coming late to the trials. You know what I mean? Like the amount of like shit that shows to me, bro, it's like you don't know what it takes to be in tier 1. Like you don't understand like how much work, how good your work ethic needs to be to play in tier 1. The amount of stuff you need to do, like bro, if you're not gonna do this in trials, you're not gonna do it here. You know what I mean? Like that's simple as that.
Mm, mm, mm. I'm very much a stickler for being on time as well. It's a challenge, I think, sometimes scrimming, scrimming at tier 2, tier 3, and there's still, I mean, some bloody hell, some tier 1 teams that don't show up on time, and you're like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's no surprise to me that you're not performing in VCT
Yeah.
based on just that observation that you're late to scrims.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, like, bro, you see Fnatic and stuff, like, bro, they're always on time.
Always
Like,
on
scrim.
time.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, it's like the Leo effect. You know what I mean? Like, Leo wants everyone, like, same as me, like, bro, because of like Leo as well. We're always on time, okay, and we literally say ready, like, in the chat, to get
Yeah.
the other, like the enemies, like, join the lobby, like. That it speeds things up, you know what I mean? But like if you're like a couple of minutes late, it like hurts like the whole like day kind of thing, it like longs out like the
It
other games.
snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think something that people. I mean, I quite like to have a break in between games, right? If you play on the hour at the start of the hour, you're gonna get probably at least a 5-minute break, right? You can get up, you can walk around, go to the bathroom, all that stuff. I think that's important for the mental reset, right, and to stay focused coming into the next scrims as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
You talk about work ethic. Do you think that's something that sets you apart from other players?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, I have to like, I don't want to be like the cocky one or whatever. Say, I'm like perfect or whatever. But like, bro, I've teamed with certain people, and like the work ethic's not like at the level I want it. I want to see it, Like, bro, you're a bit performing. You need to be playing at your best. Just because you're playing in tier 2 doesn't mean you give it like the tier 2 worth ethic kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be giving it number 1. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
tier 1. If you want to compete at the top, show that. Perform like that, come on time, do your warm up, do your, put in the time to learn things. That's literally all it takes, like to to be on top. Even after the games, like what you do after the scrims and stuff, like eat, like sleep, whatever, like even workout. All these things play a part, and if you can do all these things, bro, you deserve to be like tier 1. You know what I mean? Like, you show it.
Yeah, it's often. This has been a kind of frequent discussion point, but I think it's often the stuff that you see outside the game that really sets people apart, right? It's that the whole way that they live their life that really sets the best apart from the rest.
For sure, man. Like, bro, I think like Leo is the definition of that. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, 100% to the game. After the game, eats, sleeps, gym. Like, this guy's like a performance animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the reason why he's like the best. You know what I mean? Like, it shows like he's above everyone else because of that.
Yeah. So what other things would you say, particularly for like people that in tier 2 that you think that people aren't doing enough? Like maybe someone really wants to put the work in, right? And they're trying to kind of optimize what they're doing when it comes to the game. What kind of things would you say have been helpful for you?
Honestly, it's more like studying the game, like bro, like everyone in the game, okay. I'll say this for real, like everyone like tier 2, tier 1, or whatever, everyone has sick game. Like, mechanic wise, everyone's sick. But what sets them apart is like the knowledge of the game, how people play like in teams, like what this guy will do this round, like the smallest thing in the game, like you see, oh, this guy does this arrow here, this is what's gonna happen kind of thing. Yeah, it's like you know from like these small habits and stuff, you know what I mean? And from that, like that's what sets it apart, the like the level kind of thing, like you know more about the game, you perform better, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like how I see it. And obviously just like going gym and stuff like that, like mentally preparing yourself, it's just everything.
I think, yeah, I mean, what you describe, I kind of see it's about pattern recognition, right? Is people play things a certain way, and it tells you how they're going to play, right? And then you have that insight into what they're doing, and then understanding how to counter that. I guess my question to you is, how have you personally gone about learning those kind of things, right? Because there's only so many resources out there, right, to do these things. How do you personally kind of self-study to learn those kind of things?
Honestly, bro, like I know you're saying like there's limited resources, but bro, I watch literally like every VCT game, like I literally watch everything, like YouTube videos on like how like other coaches like see these things, there's so many like YouTube coaches and stuff like, like people like do like analysis videos and all these things, and bro, you see literally everything what they think they see, and this stuff's all free, by the way. Like just imagine if all these things are free, all you have to do is watch. It's just some time, you know. Instead of playing some ranked games, go watch that. You learn so many about these things, and you see another view of it, you know, a different part of it, and that's what like you want to see, you know. Everyone has different ways of seeing the game, and you take that all together, you know, make your own, like, and then you understand pretty much everything. So yeah.
Are there any particular people that you enjoy watching, or have enjoyed watching in the past?
Um, Honestly, I can't think of the top of the head. It's like at the top of my head, like there's so many channels, right? But I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember
yeah,
I
sure.
don't remember the names. I feel so bad, but honestly, I don't remember the names. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fair enough. It's
Yeah,
it's totally fair enough. I mean, I realize that if you're just typing in VCT analysis, there are hundreds of videos that come up, right? There is essentially unlimited resource. I don't know. It's funny because I think I have a very similar perception to you in that I think a lot of people are just lazy.
yeah, I can agree on that. Yeah.
And maybe that's a little unfair, but that's certainly my observation is that people are lazy.
I don't think you should say it's unfair because the whole thing is competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like, if you want to be at top, put the time in. Yeah, I don't give a shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're lazy, you're lazy. You don't deserve to be here. You know what I mean? But if you put in the effort, you deserve to be here. Like, that's kind of what it is for me. Like, there's so many people ranked and stuff. You know, like I guess you can say like pros kind of thing. You know, like they play on teams and stuff. You know, they spend all this time in rank, but they like outside the game, they're doing like nothing. You know what I mean? That's it.
How much time do you spend watching VODs like nowadays?
Well, since the off season, like, you know.
Well,
there's
when
nothing
you
to
were
watch.
playing with LPB, right, and you were really like you know you were preparing, I guess, ideally for Ascension, right? You kind of had
Yeah.
that goal in mind.
Yeah.
What kind of would a day have looked like for you in terms of practice and VOD reviews as well?
Bro, honestly, like, you know, we'll spend like we'll play like 4 scrims. Sometimes there was 5 scrims, you know, in the day and stuff. Okay, but the whole day outside of that, bro, I'm literally watching all the VC games. You know, Asia, you know, NA, EMEA, so many games. You know, like even like China sometimes, bro. I watch like literally
There
every.
isn't enough time in a day, in fact, I think, to watch
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
their
yeah.
games, right? Because there's so many.
Exactly. But like somehow like I just ended up doing that. And the thing is like for these like 7 months, like just before like the off season hit kind of thing, you know, I wasn't actually going to the gym. You know, like that was like the kind of downfall of my like this year kind of thing. You know, that's why I
Yeah.
regret not doing like I had to like take care of me like mentally. You know, and that was
Yeah.
like something I missed out on. But honestly, like it was like my first time IGLing as well. Like fully, you know, putting the time in. You know, blah, blah, all these things, preparing and stuff. I'm playing literally the whole day. So like 9 to like midnight kind of thing. You know, I'm Valorant. Like I live on this. I live on this game, and I have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like I spend time with my girlfriend. Like
Yes.
after you know after the scrims or whatever. Like you know sometimes I'll honestly I watch the whole champions with her as well. Like do you know what I mean? Like so I'm lucky
You're
to have that.
lucky. You're lucky
Yeah,
that she would. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm lucky to have all these things, and yeah, I have someone that you know that can do all these things with me, but you know, and also we do LDR as well, so long distance, right? So the time difference also like plays like a part in it. So I get the extra time, I guess, you know, to myself, like getting to watch all these games. But yeah, you know, I spend literally all day, every day, Valorant. If I'm not playing, you know, watching it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean it's a big commitment, right? And I guess for you, do you think you've had to make sacrifices generally in your life to commit this much to it?
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, there's so many sacrifices. You know, I could be going out with my friends, blah blah, blah stuff like that. But I do have them days, you know, like I can like I can have like a day off for, like in the week, whatever, like to actually do these things. And I do like, bro, I go to like the cinemas and stuff with my friends. Like it's chill. I like that's how I like to spend my time. You know, go to the bowling alley or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy these things. Bro, I do go out. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
there's also so much time in the world. Like you can do so many things. You know, like I like to spend it more like methodically kind of thing. You know, I actually like think. So yeah, honestly, I do like Valorant is life, bro. Like you know, if I don't go and spend my time playing some other games and all these things. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're competing in the tournament. You shouldn't be playing other games. Like that's just me personally. You know, it just shows a disrespect on your like teammates kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it shows like this guy's putting so much effort. Meanwhile, this guy's just playing some other games. And for me, that's like very disrespectful. So Yeah.
I love what you say about optimization of time as well, right? Because I think
Yeah.
it's quite easily. I mean, I'm sure anyone could go and do this. Depends on the kind of phone you have, but you just go and see how much time you spend scrolling on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
It's probably an enormous amount of time,
So true.
and it's a real waste, right? A real waste of time. Yeah, it's tough, but I think clearly your work ethic has shone through, and you've got that big break now, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting to play on GE.
Yeah.
I guess what have you learned from LPB? What are you going to do better this time around? You know, in a new team.
Honestly, it's not just LPB, you know, like even like the guild, like the year I had in guild as well. Like, bro, like not many people know this, but like, you know, people only watch like the international, the Copenhagen event, right, Masters. But before that, I was playing incredible for so long. Okay, like honestly, I was playing really well personally. Okay, like even you can like people actually care about stats and stuff. You know, you even see like stats was like showing, you know, like playing incredible. But like towards the end, you know, I started getting more tired and stuff because the amount of work we put in just before like qualifying. You know, like the qualification process we had was we boot camp for like literally a month. Okay, and
Wow.
like in Copenhagen. So I was living in Copenhagen for a month, like, and bro, the amount of work we put in just to qualify was like insane. You know what I mean? Like we probably had like 1 day off, like maybe, you know, in like 2 weeks, like I don't know, like. But I'm just saying, like we played so much, playing extra hours, playing after the game, you know. Blah, blah, like I'm going back to the hotel, sleeping, coming back, you know, early morning.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's every day, like we're constantly grinding, and the whole thing, you know, it takes a toll on you. You know what I mean? And for me, because I was putting so much effort in, like, you know, you could say I was like, you could say I was lazy in a way as well, like, you know, because you start getting like tired, so that makes you. I feel like mentally I was like getting a little bit lazy, so I was going gym a lot less, you know, on all these things. I wanted some free time, you know, so it's like all these things play like a part in like making me like having like a tougher end of the year kind of thing, you know. But before that, bro, like the whole year, I was like, like there's a reason why we were so good, you know what I mean? There's a reason
Yes.
why we made it to this international event. So it's like we
I,
worked
I
our butts off. So
I think what you're describing is burnout.
yeah,
that
pretty much
you
burnout.
that everything again, like I can relate to this because I'm trying to do more things than I can physically do at the moment.
Yeah.
And you didn't make time for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that something you're going to do in the future?
Yeah. So that's something, yeah, 100%. But just something else as well. Like I'm working with a 1HP. I don't know if you know 1HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm working with them, and because of them, like, you know, I'm getting like these like workout like routines and stuff to look after my body in general. You know, like
Yeah.
and honestly, I feel like that's what's gonna take me to like build that endurance for the end of the year kind of thing. You know, so like. So the season starts in like January and ends like in like August, September or something. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I want to be able to go through that whole thing, you know, with like 100% throughout the whole thing. Obviously, I'm gonna try my best. Like, I'm not gonna say, you know, like it's gonna be like that like throughout the whole year, keep it consistent. But that's my goal, you know, because I have someone that can, like, you know, keep me up there kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I think
that's
it's
how I
also
would do it.
managing yourself, right? Because I think burnout's an important one. I think probably a watch out for you, right, is that
Yeah.
you have to make sure that you optimize rests too.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you won't make the longevity that you
Yeah.
really want to.
100% now. I agree. Yeah, like that's what I kind of learned, you know, from that guild time. So because of
Mm.
that, I'll taking that for obviously next year. And with LPB, like just like IGL and stuff, you know, like the amount of work you put in, it's like I know what I need to do. Like, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm playing and stuff, I literally have like a solution for literally everything.
Yeah.
Like obviously there will be points where I won't have a solution, you know, if there's something new or whatever. But like a lot of times I know what I need to do kind of thing. You know, I have a solution for like every like reaction kind of thing of what I
Yeah.
need my team to do. And that I feel like, you know, when I was trialing with all these teams during this off season, right? Like I was playing with, like different IGLs and stuff. I saw what they were doing as well. You know what I mean? So it's like I kind of took some of the things in, and some of the things they didn't have is what I had. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just think about it. You know, I got all this knowledge from these guys now into me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I can use that now to move forward, and what I need to do in these parts pretty much. So yeah.
I'd love to hear about, like, I guess kind of your advice for people that are players already, right? Maybe they could be very good players, in fact. And
Yeah.
I think that they're aware, like many of us are, that there's this kind of shortage of IGLs.
Yeah.
how would you advise someone to kind of make that transition to become an IGL? And do you think people can? Do you think everyone can be an IGL?
No, I don't think everyone can be an IGL, bro. This thing's probably like there's a reason why it's short, right? Like it's very hard. Like, bro, I felt like for me, the IGL role picked me kind of thing, you know? It
Yeah.
just like it was just honestly like I felt like it was meant to be kind of thing, you know? Like this whole time during my whole like career, like I feel like I've been like a strong leader, a strong voice in the team, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of like picked me in the end. So, and that's how I kind of ended up here now. So yeah, for me it's that. I don't know if I can actually teach someone how to be an IGL, you know, all these things, but like I don't think I can give like I don't know advice on IGLs, like how to be an IGL, because everyone's different, right? So it's just what works for me, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
What does work for you? I mean, I'm interested regardless.
Oh my god, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know. For me, I just know how to read the game. Like, you know, there's so many abilities and stuff. I just know how to like, you know, I just know kind of like everything from watching it. It just goes into my head, and I just know what to say for some reason. You know, honestly, it sounds crazy as hell. Like I might sound crazy right now, but for
No,
me, all
you
these,
don't.
yeah, all these things just happen. Like I don't actually like. It's just natural for me. I don't know what it is. It's just so maybe that's what it was.
I mean, it's years of practice, right? I mean,
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
describing is intuition, right? Is
yeah,
you see it, your brain unconsciously can understand what it means, and then you're like,
yeah,
okay, we're doing this, guys. Okay, they're strong on A. Let's go B. Oh, they're not playing mid. Mid's weak. We can split through mid. You know, like you see the abilities, and you've got you know your brain has done it unconsciously. You don't even have
yeah.
to think about it, but. That's also years of practice, right? It's all of the
Yeah, I
all of
guess,
the
yeah.
years of CS as well, and
Yeah,
then years of
100%.
Valorant, and on top of that, not wasting any time not watching games, right? Because that's just more information to absorb. And
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
paying. Do you? I guess when you watch games, how do you go? How do you watch them? Do you just because obviously watching games for fun is, I think, a little bit different. I don't know how do you what do you think on that?
No, I think I do kind of both, you know. I watch it for fun as well. Like I love watching the game, so it's
Mm,
like
mm,
so that's something like plays a big part in it. But it's just like small things, you know. You just see like I don't like when I'm actually watching it, like when I need to prepare something, that's a different case. But when I'm watching it just casually and stuff, I do like just pick up things just by seeing what's happening. You know, like
mm.
this guy's doing this. Oh, like bro, like all these things have all these abilities just happen. But like for me, it's like I don't know what it is for me, but everything just plays a part, and I should know like all these things are happening pretty much. You know,
Yeah.
I just know what how this guy got here because of all these things kind of thing. So that's kind of how I see it. But when I'm preparing, it's like I'm actually watching why this guy's moving from here to here. You know, all these things, blah blah blah. So yeah, for me it's that. I hope that
Yeah,
explained
yeah.
it, but
No, no,
yeah.
no. I think I in my experience when it comes to IGLing, I do think that IGLing chooses the player and not the other way around because you have to have there's a lot of things I think you have to have naturally, right? Natural ability when it comes to it's not necessarily reading the game, but you know, it's a broader skill than that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of
100%.
pattern recognition in a way. It's just applied, right?
Yeah,
I think that certainly in my experience, I think people that have been very good academically have been have been smart in that way that enables them to kind of solve problems in game.
yeah.
How was school for you?
Honestly, I think honestly I was like the brightest. I don't know. I wasn't the brightest in school, whatever. But like you know, like after college, I kind of you know I didn't go to uni or whatever like that. So,
Hmm.
but most of those things is like honestly, I feel like I'm taught myself, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and like for me, like the reason why like I feel like I'm really good at what I'm doing right now is because when I used to play CS, I used to be an AWPer. So and while being AWPer, you want to like read what the other AWPer does. So you watch like loads of demos and stuff like that. And I feel like that played a big
Mm-hmm.
part in you know how like where I got today, pretty much. So how I got today,
That's
but
such a big point,
to where I got
Russ.
today. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
such a big point, right? Because I think it's our story that shapes who we become, right? It's the things that
yeah.
we've done in the past that obviously shape who we are today, and I think that's so important. I have another question, I guess, about kind of outside the game. Is how are your family about esports and you playing esports?
At the start it was like weird. I guess you could say like I think that's normal, right? But because
Yeah, sure,
it's
yeah.
always like it's always like a question mark for anyone that doesn't know anything about esports, you know, like especially when it comes to family, I feel like
Mm.
they were a bit weird about it till I actually qualified for my first like international LAN in CS, and I went to play in Sweden. So I was playing in Sweden,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I feel like that kind of opened their eyes in a way. So and that's what kind of made them, yeah, this guy's onto something, you know. And then it happened more often. So then I went to like Switzerland, you know. I started like traveling all over the UK as well to go to the different lands, you know.
Mm.
So it was kind of like something big, like. And as soon as they started seeing like the prize pools and stuff like that, like that's when it kind of got like a big deal. But I think Valorant was like where it kind of made the most like sense to them because of like they knew how much I was getting paid, you know, and all these things and
Yeah.
the opportunities I was getting and all these things. So that's where it kind of like they supported me like the most. So yeah,
So they're supportive of you now,
yeah,
and
100%.
I guess like since Valorant, they've been quite supportive of
Yeah,
you pursuing it as a career.
yeah. So my sister was always there. So she's like my #1 fan. So she's
Mhm.
been like following me since like 2019, I guess you can say. That's when she knew, you know, this is me kind of thing, you know. Follow my
Yeah.
dreams, you know. Don't care what your like dad or mom says, you know, like just focus on your thing, you know, you're gonna do great. So that's kind of where it all started, you know, like you know, I had a job as well. I used to work at Tesco, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
part time as well, and while I was playing Counter Strike, so I literally quit, you know, 2019 or whatever, you know, just so I can play full time, you know, and not worry about. I made enough money, you know, whatever. I was able to
Yeah.
live happily at home and stuff. So I think obviously that played a big part, you know. Obviously I stayed with my family, so I didn't have to pay many things, you know. All I had to pay was
Mm-hmm.
like car insurance, food sometimes, and all these things. Like there was nothing like too crazy kind of thing, not no rent or whatever. So I feel like they
Yeah.
support me very well. So yeah, I'm grateful to have that.
Yeah, I think that's nice, and especially now, obviously, now that you've made it big, I think it's well. I mean, it would be worrying if they weren't supportive of you now. Then yeah,
Yeah,
then maybe you don't have the nicest family. But it's good that they are. I mean, clearly, it sounds like they're great in the grand
yeah,
scheme of
yeah.
things. Because I know that a lot of people kind of have a kind of struggle with that.
Yeah, obviously, I feel like I've been through the struggle in the past. You know, like I'm not saying it was easy. Like getting to
Mm.
where where I am right now, it's been a struggle throughout the whole way. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I would even say like even Valorant came, I was literally struggling. Like, there was literally a point where if I didn't get signed, you know, soon, I'll probably have quit. Like at the start of the game before I joined Rigs, if that Rigs offer didn't come in, I probably would have quit because I probably had like less than one k in my bank account, you know,
Yeah.
and all this thing. I probably had to get another job, you know, like whatever. Like I probably had to quit. But that Rick's thing whole like changed like my whole year kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like year to year kind of thing. So
Mm.
yeah,
God's plan.
God's plan. Yep.
Yeah, I love that. I guess. So speaking of kind of challenges and overcoming them, I guess what's the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome as a player? What was the kind of the darkest time, the hardest time?
um, the darkest time. That's very hard to say. Like hard to think because like obviously it like while in the tournament, I guess you can say like Copenhagen was like the hardest time. Like you know,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole like 2 weeks whatever it was like it was actually so like mentally mentally taxing because
Mm.
I feel like that's where I learned like the most about myself and about the team in that short period, you know? And that was like the most crazy experience. That's where you learn the most. And I feel
Yeah.
like because of that, I know what I need to do in the future and what I need to do in my next teams, and that's what it takes, you know, to make a better team, you know, and all these things. So I took that experience from that, bro. Like you know, we beat like my first international event, be Optic and Crew. You know, like you know what I mean? Like that's like one of the like two of the biggest things ever. Like being
Yeah.
Optic, like one of the #1 teams, and being Crew, like the #1 like Latin team, right? So it's like that's like a big deal already. I've done like we had the group of death, so doing that was bro, that's like amazing, you know.
Mm.
Um, but just taking from that tournament, it's like what I learned like as playing at LAN was like the sound and all these things, the preparation you get, blah blah, you know, all these things like played a big part in how you perform. You know what I mean? And for me, that was that. And then like after getting out of groups, is like I'm playing playoffs against like FPX,
Yeah.
and then and we lost to FPX and we lost to PRX, which were both the finalists. So we lost to like
Yeah.
the two best teams. But imagine like how well we were doing online and stuff, how well we did in the groups. Imagine we played someone else. You know, we could have been we could have been the ones, you know, going to the top. And yeah, it's just like the experience you take from these tournaments, like big tournaments, is what you learn like the most, you know, in that short period of time, and that's something you can never like buy, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You can't just like learn else like someone else like straight away, kind of thing. You know, you got to experience it yourself.
I think this has become an interesting thought of mine recently. I guess that at the end of the day, it only ever matters how a team performs on the day, right? When it all comes down to the few hours that you're on stage and you're playing the game and how you perform on the stage. It doesn't matter how you played in scrims, doesn't matter how you prepared. It only matters how you perform on that day. And we have to I think something that's coming, right? And this is why, you know, performance and like 1HP, you know, people like that and organizations like that are going to be huge in the future, because we have to select people that can perform in that environment, right? And I guess so. What did you learn about yourself? I mean, be specific. I want to really want to hear the details. You know, like
no,
the more you can give, the more interesting it is.
Yeah, when you're on the spot, it's kind of like hard to think about it. But like after like every game and stuff, you know, we had like team huddles like after the game, you know, like just like the post match kind of thing, you know, like what we need to do better, you know, even after the loss and stuff, we had team huddle, you know, we just talk about what went wrong, what went like, you know, what went well and all these things, what we need to do for the next game and stuff. And like game by game, like we were improving, you know what I mean? Like it's like we're doing better and better. Bro, the games were so close. Like, do you know how like mentally taxing it is playing all these games like proper close? Like, oh, I was like, bro, this is just crazy. This is what I live for, you know what I mean? Like, I love this shit. So it's like I was having like the, you know, time of my life. Like, sorry, but it just shows like, you know, in the games, like when it comes to like the tightest moments, you know, bro, like we have world class players in guild, but it's like everyone was feeling the pressure, you know what I mean? Like everyone from like everyone on the team, and it's like, you know, this pressure wasn't there when you're online, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that now everyone's feeling it, everyone's making these small mistakes and stuff, and it kind of like goes on to you know what I mean? Like, you know, for example, if someone's not entering on time, whatever, the next guy's gonna get affected, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all these things like played a big part in like of how things were going. So it's just like game by game, we just had to talk what we need to change and all these things, and I feel like that's what kind of made us all play better in a way, you know. Even though we lost, like the games were like really close, and yeah, it was just the clutch moments kind of thing. Just won the game. Sorry, oh my god,
It's
I
fine.
need another break. I think.
I think for you, in some ways, looking from the outside, I mean, I don't think you're disappointed about it, but I think that it would have been very different if those games had been a few rounds different, right? In fact, those single, because people don't remember the close losses, right? That no one, certainly not the fans. You know, I think we do as coaches, as players, right? People in it, you see it, and you empathize with people going through that experience. But I don't think the general people involved in esports, they don't remember those games.
100%. Like what I remember is, you know, being like two best teams in the group of death and losing to the finals. You know, that's what I remember. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like what people see is, you know, at the end of the day, it's like the stats. Like, you know, like the tournament's finished. Oh, you see the stats. This guy didn't perform well. That's kind of what everyone sees. But like, think about it, how we got here. You know what I mean? Like, everyone plays their own role. You know what I mean? Like, my role in the team was like, you know, I'm also like filling in as well. You know, like, bro, think about it. Like, I literally started playing Viper, okay, for the team. You know, because
That's what you needed.
like, yeah, it's what we needed. But like, it also excelled like other players to play a little bit more better, like, you know, be more comfortable and stuff. I was playing. I'll say this for a fact. In scrims and stuff, I was playing incredible as Viper. Okay, I thought like this is my agent. This is my shit. Okay, bro. I go into the tournament. I'm playing a Sigetsu. You know, bro. It's like, bro, this guy's got like a million games on like Viper. You know, in tournaments. You know, whatever. Bro, I'm getting owned by this guy. It's like, how can I, like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Yeah, and I just still remember like I'm playing Bind. This is like my worst map. Like, I'm playing Bind, I'm playing Viper. Bro, I'm just getting like, you know, I'm getting shot through the sort of smoke and stuff, bro. It's like so many these things are happening that you don't get punished in the scrims. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as like, I think I'm a god in scrims because, you know, these guys are not punishing me. I go into the tournament. Bro, this guy knows everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting owned. Like, so it's like, so it's like, you know, it's just one of the things. Like, I know it's like, bro, it's not the thing to do. But I know what I need to do for my team to excel, and I've done that bit. My comms, and like just teamwork in general. Like setting up the round and stuff. Like that's my that's my strong suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I brought to the team, and that's what made everyone else play 10 times better. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why I was on a team. Oh, like 15 people try for my spot. Like imagine, there's a reason why I was on a team, and it's like for me, I know how much. I know the team knew like what I was good at. And that's the reason we got this far, kind of thing. So, and that's not what everyone sees. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, like I understand, people's like reaction straight. Like people, a lot of things like on social media and stuff, people react like instantly. They don't really think. So
No, they don't.
so that's literally what happens, and that's the stuff like people react on, I guess you can say, and people don't really understand what actually goes into the team, other than the team itself and like the coaches and whoever watches the games, kind of thing. Well, not whoever watches the coaches and people who actually play the game.
I think that's really important, right? Is to, like you said, like play to your strengths and understand that that's the member of the team you are. It's like that kind of that facilitator, right? The guy, the central controller of the team, especially as an IGL, right? That's or even if you're not IGLing, right? You can still be the linchpin of the team. You can still be very central in that way and play to the things that you're good at.
Yeah, exactly. So like in guild, like I was in IGL, but like the role I played was so even the IGL can call better, like he can be more comfortable. He can play a role where he's not gonna be taking a lot of fights, like kind of thing. Like when I'm playing, like, and I'm supporting like my teammate or whatever, like even if I'm playing Sage and stuff, I would go in, I would take the first duel, I would make sure these guys are alive so they can clutch. Like, bro, yeah, world class players like Leo, Save, Trex, you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want them being last alive? Like,
Yeah.
I know how to get the most out of like teammates, players. That's the reason why I feel like my role in guild like played a big part to our like success. So then so yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I mean, clearly you've earned it, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like you say, I think part of the thing is that you're not like a super flashy player, right? You are actually. I think you really you really are. I mean, I've seen it, absolutely. But I think that like that's not what you're trying to achieve on a team for you personally, right?
Yeah. So something that I'll just say, like, I still remember like when I'm at Copenhagen, like there were so many times where like I'm going in and I'll just die. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have a duel or whatever. Like I'm running through, helping the team, making the space. They literally used to be rounds. I still remember. I'm jumping through a smoke with like my gun out or something, like just so the next guy can come and.
You're
bait,
just full baiting for your teammate, right?
Yeah. Like I didn't give a shit about stats, bro, at the time. Like I still don't. You know what I mean? Like I literally would go in. We're winning the round. We're winning the game. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. Like we were literally winning. Like I still remember like my teammates are winning these like 2v3s, 1v2s, because I'm doing this for them. You know what I mean? Like I can shoot. I know I can shoot back. I know how good my aim is. I know how good I can do. But like, we're not gonna win the round if we just sit back and bait each other. You know what I mean? Like we're just not. So these things need to be done in order to win the round, and that's what people don't understand. You know what I mean? And you can just see it, like even like VCT right now, like this whole year, a lot of teams like fucked up in a way because they don't have a player that can support them. You know what I mean? Everyone thinks that the star player, they want to keep their spots, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what showed this year. That's the only reason why there's one or two teams that were good in EMEA. You know what I mean? Then the rest were like not as good. Like for me, like I feel like Vitality was like a real team. Like Giants was like a real team. You know what I mean? Like these guys are like real teams. They know like the players are good in their role. You know what I mean? And some of these teams were just missing like that support role or whatever. And some people had to actually go on that support role to like fill in the gaps, and that's not what you want. You know what I mean? Like you want that player you got to play his best on the role he was good at.
Yeah.
And not just put him on a different role. That's just, to me, that's just like, bruh. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, because everyone has a role to play. And that doesn't mean that you have to play Jet and dash in and updraft and kill 5 guys with your knives, right? Like, we don't all have to hit highlight reel plays because that isn't how a team wins.
Yeah.
I think that's
me.
it's such an important point. Right? Honestly, like I don't think you can overstate how important that is to be a team player. And I think the point you say about like baiting each other as well, like I think it's such a common thing where because that trust doesn't exist between players, right? They don't realize that, if one guy just goes first and trusts his teammates to trade, they're going to get you on site and you're just going to have won the round.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they've opened it up for you. And I think you clearly get that.
Yeah. So that's also like one thing, like, I feel like it was like my strong suit in guild as well, like, for example, my duelist in front of me, I'm literally telling him I'm with you, like I'm telling him I'm with you, I got this, so he doesn't have to worry this. His aim is like focused, like he's focused on his aim. He knows exactly where to look. That's like the difference between like me and like just another like player that's put on support kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the second player, whatever. Like it's the difference. Like, and also like when I'm dead, bro, I literally comp for the whole team. People know exactly where to fight. People know exactly what to do, and it's like the stress in these stressful situations.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the things. So I'm dying first. I'm still alive, you know what I mean? Like in the comms, like I'm telling, bro, guys, don't worry about this, this guy's got this guy's got this. Like the difference that makes, the amount of like the stress you get when you're playing at these like high level games, it's like if someone's not doing this for you, you're losing because the people, even if you're like calm as hell, it doesn't matter because you don't have this like information stuff that someone else is giving you. You're gonna lose, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, unless you're like the god of the game, like Leo, for example. So, yeah.
I think no matter how good you are, right, our brains are only so large, right? There's only so much information you can process and only so many things you can com. And I think what you're describing is like it's almost like you're a coach in the game, right? You can feed all of the information to everyone, and you can kind of coordinate that effort so that they can continue to perform exceptionally as a team.
Yeah.
So I guess on that, what's maybe one final piece of advice that you'd maybe like to give to people that that want to make this their life, like you have, right? And this over many years, this very, very long grind that it has been to kind of make it to a partnership team.
Yeah, honestly, like I kind of explained it throughout this whole thing. Like it's a lot of hard work. Like I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of sacrifices, but you can't give up, you know what I mean? This is like, that's something, but obviously there's times where, you might have to like, financially you might not be there, like obviously that plays a big part, but at the same time is you can make time, you can have a part-time job, I've seen so like tier 2 players like, like doing these things like, bro, like they're not getting paid, and they care so much, like, I think it was like one of the Finnish players, I forgot his name, like Nixon, I think it was. Like,
Nick soon.
Yeah. He's doing like work, like outside of the game, just so he can pursue Valorant. You know what I mean? Those people know what it takes. You know what I mean? They know what sacrifice they need to make just to be able to pursue this like thing. But at the same time, it's like it's this dedication. You need the mental mentality to do this, and all these things you need to learn on the way. Like it doesn't just happen over a year. You know what I mean? Like look at me. Like it took like ages. Like it's 2023 right now. I started in 2018. Like I started giving it my all, and it took that long to get where I am, kind of thing. Some people will like have the talent, just like there's so many like 18-year-olds and stuff, but a lot of times like I had to go through all this like hard work just to get where I am, But the thing is, there's a saying, right? Like hard work beats talent at the end of the day. Like if they don't work, so that's kind of what it is in the end. Like I know myself, like bro, all these kids they're insane in the game, but I'm just as good in other parts of the game where they're not good at, you know what I mean? And that's why I bring to the team or whatever than these guys. Bro, I know I'm like my duelist is insane, I'm gonna support him. I know how to help him, He might not be the best at doing what I do, but he's really good at doing what he does, So it's like so that's a bit off topic in terms of like the answering the question.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. But that's what it is for me. A lot of hard work, passion, dedication, If you want it, if you really want it, you'll put your mind to it and work as hard,
Yeah, hard work beats all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Russ. Is there anyone, obviously shout out to Global Esports.
Yeah.
And shout out to our friends, Spin and Big Time. Well, my friends, your friends now too.
Yep. of course, yeah. Shout out to my girlfriend, my family, Global Esports. You know, all the fans. Yeah, the team. You know, we're honestly like, I'm so excited to play next season. Like, you know, there's a lot of doubters and stuff. We got to prove everyone wrong. You know, yeah, like on like, you know, on paper it might not be the craziest team. You know, all these things, blah blah. Not the biggest names or whatever, but we know what it takes to make a good team. We know we know how to make a successful team, you know, and that's what it is. We're gonna make team work, and I know how to get the best out of everyone. So we're gonna work our best, work our hardest, you know, and do our best coming and playing.